Hey everybody, welcome to a coffee and customer service hangout with me. I'm Jeremy Watkin, and I'm here with my co-blogger about 1,000 miles away from me, Jenny Dempsey. How's it going, Jenny? What are you drinking tonight?
Oh, hello, Jerry. Good to see you. I'm ending the night with a glass of water in my Britney Spears concert glass.
Nice.
I saw her a year ago in Vegas, and I got that cup. It was pretty great. What do
Oops, you did it again.
you got? Another glass of water. Oops.
Great.
What you got over there?
You're good with the catchphrases. I'm drinking a La Croix passion fruit.
You're always drinking those.
I know they're good. At our last employer, I got hooked on the sparkly fizzy waters.
So they make you burp.
A bit. Not as much as you. Just a fair warning, I have an audience tonight. I'm downstairs and my wife is watching.
Oh, yeah, hello.
Just me, she can't hear you.
Oh.
So what have you been up to, Jenny?
Oh,
how's life with motor what is it, motor vehicleists?
Lots of motor vehicleists. Oh gosh, something along those lines. Things are good. Things are good. Moved to a new apartment with my fiance.
Oh wait, there's what? It's on there?
It's on. Yes.
You heard it here. Jenny has an engagement ring on.
Oh gosh.
Congratulations.
Thank
When's
you.
the big day?
What's that?
When's the big day?
We haven't figured that part out yet, but probably toward the end of the year or
Nice.
I don't know, whenever we feel like it. I don't know. So that's kind of the big news. What
There's
else?
a strong possibility we will live stream your wedding from our customer service live Facebook page.
Oh gosh, live stream it. Wow. Well, I guess that
Big event.
Technology can do things like that these days, I guess. I'm not sure about that, but we'll see.
We'll have to negotiate.
We'll yeah. And that's just working and nothing. I mean, trying to think of other things.
Are you hitting the speaking circuit pretty soon here?
Oh, that's a good point. Yes. Yeah. The ICMI, the conference in May in Orlando, which we will actually both be speaking at. So exciting. I've been nervous since, I got the email about it, and I'm like, okay, gotta get ready. And I'm really, really slacking because I'm already so nervous. So that's kind of how that is. But what's new on your side of the world with snow and all sorts of exciting stuff?
Well, what are you speaking on?
Oh, well, I'm going to be speaking. I'm hosting a session about keeping the customer service rock stars on your team, and about employee retention, and just kind of trying to help people understand what keeps people around to avoid that churn, keep the team strong, and don't lose the good people, and make sure that they stay happy. But there's a lot more things to it than just being happy. And so I'm kind of speaking from my experience of what I've done in the past and just learning from my peers. I did a recent Facebook poll or kind of questionnaire thing with some friends that I've worked with before to try to really understand what kept them at their jobs, and what would make someone run for the hills if they took a job, if they had X, Y, and Z types of things. So it was really interesting, and there were a lot of common themes. And so I'm kind of compiling that together. You'll probably see a blog post in February with a sneak peek of some of those. But if you want the rest, you gotta go to the conference and definitely get to my speaking engagement, which is on, gosh, I feel like it's the last day, kind of towards the end of the day, on May 24th. I can't recall the day.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Woo.
Well, it'll be fun to see you there. Yeah, I am. I'll be speaking. I think our sessions might be going on at the same time. We
Oh,
might actually miss each other. I'm going to be on a panel with our friends Leslie O'Flahaven and Jeff Toyster to talk about chatbots and things to consider there, which is kind of a fun topic. Just talking about new technology that is going on in the customer service world. And then I'm co-presenting with a colleague of mine, Ruth McCullen. We're going to talk about how to tell great stories to communicate return on investment on various initiatives in customer service. You know, it's always a challenge. It was a challenge for me to really communicate the value of certain things and decisions I made as a customer service leader. So really the two of us are working to help give some customer service leaders some great tools that they can use in their workplaces. So it should be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so awesome. How exciting. That panel, that's a cool lineup. That's trouble right there.
Panels are a lot of fun. It's fun to have a dialogue with other people that, you know, they'll have different angles that they're coming at it from. That'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, CC Contact Center Expo in May in Orlando with ICMI. It'll be great.
Hopefully we see all of our viewers and blog followers there.
Yeah. And you can also, for anybody that's watching that doesn't know about it, the ICMI chat on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Jenny and I are frequently there, and it's a great time, great group.
It is. I love that. It is just such a great opportunity to really like learn new things from people who are doing maybe the same thing as you, and they've got all these different experiences. It's like, yeah, I'm really thankful for that chat, because I feel like some things I pick out of there, I'm like, I'm going to implement this today. And it happens. It's great.
Yeah. So my other big announcement, at least for myself, other than we're experiencing our first snow here in Eugene since moving here a little over a year ago, and that's been a lot of fun. But new opportunity for me in 2017. I'm an advisor for CustomerThink.com, and I just published my first column late last week. So
that's awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. You and I, we've been syndicating our blog on that site for a long time, and it's been a great source. They have a huge readership. There's often a lot of great dialogue on there, and so I definitely, if you haven't checked out CustomerThink.com, it's just a great resource for everything you can think of as far as having a customer-centric organization. And they get into, I don't know if you've seen it, Jenny, but they get into a lot of really like heady stuff, like, you know, talking about big data and analytics, stuff that stretches my mind. I try and read it just to like learn about what I don't know, but that is far from my comfort zone as far as customer service goes.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the Customer Think articles that make it real, like, you know, kind of the how-tos. Like, there are things very easy to follow, like step-by-step type of posts here and there, and I appreciate that, because then it's like, oh, here's someone else did this. I can kind of follow along. It makes it really great to have that resource. Yeah.
So, so we have kind of a sobering topic. Maybe this is a bad idea.
Aww.
Jenny and I both had to say goodbye to furry friends. Oh wow, what is that?
It's his paw print and clay.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
great. Miso.
Yeah.
So Jenny and I had to say goodbye to furry friends over the last month or so. And we both wrote blog posts that I thought we kind of took different angles. But I thought it was worth exploring, and if we can hold it together. I know um, I think the interesting thing about like having to grieve in the workplace is um, you know, customer service and any job, you kind of have to fit it into a box. You have to get your work done, and sometimes the grieving over a loss, or maybe things aren't perfect outside of work. Um, Sometimes it makes it hard to uh, to line up with everything that needs to be in that work box. So what I know you had a really interesting post on it, Jenny. What were some of your thoughts?
I think my post, I took it from the angle of the customer service representative and, having to go to work after dealing with loss, whether it be a pet, whether it be a family member, whether it be a friend, like whatever, you know, you have to sadly get back into regular life. And when you're in a role with customer service where you have to kind of leave your feelings at the door in order to help people, it really makes it hard. And so for people that are in those types of roles and that have to go to work, whether it be a week later or the next day, um, trying to make sense of that and helping people understand that it's okay to be sad. And I had a conversation with my boss, who's my current boss. So he's such a great guy, and I know he means so well. But he's like, I just want to make you feel better, because I was like really low, really, just out of it, really sluggish. I'd go to the bathroom to cry. I think I wrote about that in that article. And so she's like, well, what can I do to make you feel better? And I was like, you know what? I just really want to be sad. I just need to be sad right now. And he was like, oh, well, thanks for being honest and telling me that. And, I was like, I know I'll be okay, but I just need to be sad. And it actually was like such a freeing feeling. And thank goodness I have a boss that supported that and a culture that supported that at this office. I think it'd be really hard for people in situations where they don't have that support, and you still got to go there, and be happy. And if you're face to face with customers, I can imagine that would be even, more difficult. Making drinks at Starbucks, and, your pet just died, and you got to put on that smile and say, Jeremy, your order's ready, or Jeremy, your milk frappuccino, or whatever, and be happy and still make the drinks right and all this stuff. And it's like, how do you deal and grieve properly? You have to grieve, or else this stuff builds up and it's just like not healthy. How do you do it and still be able to help people? And so I think I have a lot more deep diving to do on that, just because that really sucked. Like dealing with, losing that little guy, um, and just having to get back into the swing of things, and everyone kind of expects you to, or else they want to make you feel better. And it's like nothing really will make you feel better, but you appreciate what they're doing, like kind of what you wrote about in your article, the hug, which I'm sure you'll talk about in a little bit. But that people are there to support you, and underneath it all, you're grateful for that. And you can still kind of feel your feelings and all that stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe I've just worked in Encinitas too long and I'm turning into like hippie brain, but I think that there's value in really feeling your feelings and being in an environment that supports that, because it's normal human emotion to be sad, and we still have to work and we still got to get stuff done, but how can we really balance the two?
Well, I mean, the more I've heard about grief and thought about grief in my own life, we know that it's not healthy to squash it down and just try and soldier on. If you do that, it's going to come out in other areas,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's your health or some other aggressive ways against other people, or I think grief comes out in all different ways if we don't deal with it properly. So and you know that there's nothing like time to kind of let the healing happen. One thing that I kind of was thinking about in your situation, Jenny, I know you guys do primarily email support.
Mhm.
I remember as a customer service leader, it was always nice to be able to, when someone was maybe going through something, or when they were sick for that matter, to give them a break from the phones and maybe let them focus on either email or chat or something like that. So they didn't necessarily have to take time off, but they didn't have to be on all the time. Do you think, you know, as you think about your situation, you know, we say things like put a mirror in front of your desk and so you can see yourself smile before you answer the phone and stuff like that. Is that, I mean, is that even possible, or is that just abuse?
You know, I honestly, I don't know if it's abuse. I think that's a little harsh, but I don't know how realistic it is, because we're gonna have good days, we're gonna have bad days, and just because we have a bad day doesn't mean we can't still help someone out. We can still, we talk about being genuine a lot, and we're not gonna be mean, and we're not gonna be rude, but as long as, you know, we're real and still kind of helping people out. I don't know. I used to love that idea of the mirror on the desk, but I don't, after this situation, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to really work for the long run.
But I mean, it probably, I think even when I'm sad, if I get in a mode where I can actually like really help someone, sometimes it's good to have a little bit of a distraction for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Complex.
definitely. Now, tell a little bit about your article on the perspective that you wrote about. You know, Chip is such a
All
great
right.
book.
So yeah, I had my old my wife and I, we adopted two chocolate labs that were kind of already middle aged, and we put one down a couple years ago, and then our other one was already blind, Chip. So we had this blind dog that walked really slowly, and it was just time to say goodbye. And I thought maybe with the second one it wouldn't be so hard, but it was still hard. And it was different now because my at least two of my kids really understood what was going on and they were processing it. But still, it was my duty to take him to the vet and do it. But when I came back home, my my kids all came and gave me a hug, which was really nice. But then I started bawling
Oh,
and maybe even blubbering a little bit, Jenny. It wasn't pretty.
it doesn't have to be pretty. Oh God.
And my oldest hugged me for a little bit, and then he looked at my wife and went like, "I got nothing." But you know, looking for a lesson on customer service, that hug I think is really symbolic of what we're looking for when we talk about empathy with our customers. That sometimes you're not going to have the words to say, and you're not going to have the magic fix,
Mhm.
but just the fact that you're there for them, and a hug. I mean, you're not going to hug your customers, but I guess you could sometimes. I don't think I've hugged any customers today, but I'm sure you have. You've got marriage proposals and stuff. Um, but you definitely definitely, you know, maybe it's just words of understanding that you kind of get where they're coming from, or just maybe there are no words and you communicate that. Um, but sometimes that's enough, and the fact that you're there and you stick with them through trying to um, uh, kind of stick with them through the emotional issues, and then or the situation they're going through, and then
Mhm.
and then working with them toward a resolution on the other thing they contacted you about, I think that makes a difference.
Mhm.
And you know, I beyond just customer service, I want people to realize how powerful it is to connect with other people and to serve other people. And I think that just gives you so much purpose in this kind of work, which it's not easy work. I think we've established that. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Listening is a big part of that, and you know, building that kind of trust that they could say those things and share whatever's going on, whether it be in an email or over the phone or in person or chat or text or whatever it is, like um, just they want to be heard. And I know that like sometimes I didn't want to talk at all. You know, I would just cry, or I wouldn't even cry. I just wanted quiet. And if I wanted to talk, just listen. That's always nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes that's all you can do.
yeah. We we used a in-home service for miso, and it was very interesting, you know, because in the person who came, or the doctor who administered it, you know, she walks in and she's very kind. She doesn't ask your name. She doesn't. She introduces herself. Actually, I don't know. Yes, she did introduce herself, but she doesn't ask for your name, and she just goes right to the dogs, right to me. So, you know, she didn't build a connection with us at all. And I was thinking about it after the fact. Like, imagine your job is your customers are basically dogs that you are putting to sleep, or any animal, a cat. And, you know, in order to go to sleep at night, she can't build connections with us. Like we sat up there and we were crying, and we, you know, watched him take his last breath, and it was like, whew, it was hard. But then, you know, she was just very gentle, scooped him up and left. And it was like, that's a job where you can't necessarily build a relationship with your customers, because then that's just, I would imagine that would throw you out of balance. You would have so much emotion all the time. And so it's interesting for different jobs, different things that you might be doing. Like if you're in a, I don't know, gosh, I can imagine like a crisis center, like the stories that you hear, like, I mean, you're there to help, but how do you balance that at the end of the day and be able to
Yeah.
carry all that with you? So lots of emotional things going on. It's like, oh, all these different types of customer service that require different amounts of you and the connection as well. So
I think one thing that they do really well is because it's really about you saying goodbye to your dog, and they do a really good job of not getting in the middle of that. And I think that's kind of what I observed. I mean, our vet was really empathetic and really kind, and I even made the comment. I was like, "Wow, this is a great," because they do them at the end of the day. I was like, "This is a great way to end your day."
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's interesting. It's not an easy role.
No, definitely not.
Still customer service too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Customer service is everywhere.
It really is. It really is. I can never do that kind of customer service. Oh, no. Oh, gosh.
But that's the other thing about empathy. Once you go through it,
Mhm.
um, and I know I try and be careful about this, is once you go through it, you can empathize with other people going through it, and
Yeah.
it's important to do that. But it's also important to kind of let them have their own experience, not just empathize in such a way that you tell them how they should have the experience.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone's, you know, point of kind of coming back to reality and returning to, you know, they'll never be the same again, returning to a state of where you're not crying all the time, and that's different. And I learned that recently as well too, like the grieving process. And everyone experiences that in different ways, and it may take longer for some versus others, and yeah.
Sweet. Well, see, I told you this was going to be the most depressing hangout. Jenny,
Good.
have you done any good icebreaker questions lately? Any good ones that we could end on?
I did. You know what? If you were the principal of a school, what would you pick as the school's mascot? And what would its name be?
That's too funny. What would its name be?
What mine was.
That is a tough one. Oh man. What did you say? Did you say one?
No, I don't remember what I said, but I know right now what I would pick is the mascot would be a Pekingese and they'd be the Misos.
Wow, that's deep. My my mascot would be the brown trout.
Oh gosh.
And I think and I'd call him Stinky.
Oh. So you have a football team with Stinkies?
I think it would be fitting, Jenny.
Well, yes, that's very true.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure talking customer service, empathy, current events, and mascots for our hypothetical high schools.
Yes. Cheers.
Till next time, Jenny.
Till next time.